I love the stories from ancient legends and the mythology. I particularly love the ones from the tales of King Arthur and the Round Table. I grew up with these, and they tell us so much about how to encounter our obstacles, how to overcome our fears and the things that get in our way, and how to move on with our life, how to be all that we can be, how to be enlightened. I particularly love the one of the time when the knights were seated around the Round Table, and suddenly the Holy Grail appeared above the table, and several of the knights leaped up and tried to grab it. It disappeared. Then Merlin came to the doorway of the room of the Round Table, and he yells at the knights. He says, "Fools! You can't just grab the Grail. You have to earn it. You have to go out and achieve it. You have to get it. It is enlightenment. It is self-awareness. It's higher consciousness. You can't just grab it." So one of the knights said, "Well, Merlin, how do we do that?" And Merlin says, "You got to go to the edge of the forest. You got to find the darkest spot in the forest, a place where there are no trails. And there you have to enter the forest. You can't go where there are any trails. You can't go where someone has blazed a path before you. You have to cut your own trail. And you have to go in all alone. You can't take friends with you. You got to confront whatever you need to confront. And once you go in to that dark, dark forest, you're going to encounter monsters, dragons, black knights who try to stop you, maybe maidens who try to seduce you off your path. You're going to encounter all kinds of obstacles. But if instead of pulling out your sword, you deal with these obstacles from the heart and the brain and from your soul, instead of trying to confront them with might, if you deal with them on another level, then you'll be able to move forward and find the Grail, move forward into higher consciousness, enlightenment, if you will. And I personally like to tell the story and play it out with my grandson, who just turned 9. And we'll go into this forest here, and I'll go ahead of him and hide. And when he comes around a corner, I'll leap out at him like the dragon, blowing fire, breathing fire. I'll say, "I'm the dragon. I'm here to stop you." And he goes by the name Sir Grant, because his name is Grant. And he has a horse. And I asked him one time, "So what's your horse's name?" And he says, "I don't know." And I said, "That's a great name for his horse." So now he comes riding along on his horse, "I don't know." And this dragon confronts him. And he says, "Oh, Mr. Dragon, I've got to go on. I've got to find the Holy Grail. I've got to go past the obstacles. I've got to go forward with my mission." And the dragon says, "I'm not going to let you. There is no Holy Grail. And if there was a Holy Grail, I wouldn't let you find it. I'd stop you right here." And Sir Grant says, Oh, Mr. Dragon, I've got to move forward." "Okay, no, I'm going to eat you." And he says to the dragon, Sir Grant says, "That's fine. You can eat me, Mr. Dragon, because my grandpa says that if I get eaten by a dragon, I just shapeshift into the dragon. I'd like to shapeshift into you, so you can eat me." And the dragon says, "Really? You'd let me do that?" "Yeah, sure. But one thing, I just noticed that under your belly, there's a stick protruding there. It's like a little splinter, but it's going to go deep and you're going to get infected. So I want to pull it out of you so it won't hurt you." And the dragon says, "You do that for me?" And Sir Grant says, "Well, of course, because I'm compassionate. And also, because I'm going to shapeshift into you, I don't want that thing stuck in me." And the dragon says, "Well, okay, what do I have to do?" Sir Grant says, "You just have to arch your back so I can ride my horse, I don't know, underneath you, and tie a rope to my horse and to that twig and pull it out of you." The dragon, "Okay, go ahead." And he arches his back. And Sir Grant rides underneath the dragon on his horse. And he ties his rope to the edge of an end of the stick there, and also to his horse. And then he says, "Hey, I don't know." And he turns his horse toward the rear of the dragon, toward the area of the trail that he wants to go down that's been blocked by the dragon. He slaps the horse on the rump and he says, "Go, go!" And the horse pulls out the splinter, the stick that's stuck in the dragon. And Sir Grant goes running out after him, and now he's on the other side. But the sticks come out. And the dragon looks down and he says, "Ah, you removed it. But where are you? And Sir Grant from behind him yells, I'm here, it's Mr. Dragon. I made it out, we're safe, and we're gonna ride on toward the Holy Grail. And the dragon can't turn around, the trail's too narrow. So he's made it through. And of course the lesson here is that he used his heart and his brain and his soul. He didn't pull out his sword. He went deep within himself and looked for a solution that was a win-win for everybody. And he moves on. And we continue with the story with all kinds of other obstacles that he encounters. And the message here is that, you know, as we move through life, we've got to learn to deal with these obstacles. We humans have encountered many obstacles. We're encountering them right now, many crises. The oceans are rising, the glaciers are melting, many species are going extinct. We know that we're in deep trouble. How do we move beyond these obstacles? This is the Holy Grail that we must seek and find ways to move into a new perception. I'll be talking a lot more about perception and the perception bridge in future sessions. But this is our challenge now. And you know, the old mythologies, the tales of Merlin, the tales of the Knights of the Round Table, and Beowulf, and so many of these old mythologies, they're there to teach us lessons, to tell us how to move beyond obstacles, how to go to enlightenment, how to find our grail, our personal grail. The people of the Amazon talk about how we have to touch the jaguar. And for them, the jaguar is the scariest animal in the forest. When they go on vision quests, if they see a jaguar, they know that if they run from it, it'll chase them. They have to go out and touch it. They have to confront it, and then they can take its power. So we know that we are at this time now where we have to touch that jaguar, where we have to go into the darkest place in the forest where there is no trail, because nobody's ever led us through this period before. Nobody's experienced this before, but we have to go into it. And we have to confront these obstacles. We have to meet these monsters that will confront us there, the dragons. And we have to look them in the eye, we have to touch them, we can't run from them, and we have to understand how to take power from them and how to move forward into a new vision of the world, how to come up with a new perceived reality that will change the objective reality, that will move us out of what we know is a failed global system, economically, politically, environmentally, and socially, into a system that will succeed, that will create a world that our grandchildren, like Grant, and his grandchildren and their grandchildren, a world that they will thank us for helping to create for them. To do that, we must go to this darkest place in the forest. We must enter. We must blaze new trails. We must confront the obstacles. We must deal with our demons and monsters and move forward. And I look forward to doing that with all of you. Thank you.